Wonder, 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 wonder.
Friends, for this throwback episode, I am bringing 2 episodes back for my Father's Day events that I've done in the past few years, a few Father's Day episodes that I found to be special. The first one is a father from Venezuela, and he gives us his perspective as an immigrant dad and also the experience of having a gay daughter and what that meant to him and how he came to terms with it. And it was really beautiful, very special and sweet. And then the second one is 2 young dads talk about raising young girls. I hope you enjoy. Today I have a really, really special guest because this is June, and June is the month we celebrate Father's Day. And the reason why it's such a big month for me is because a few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I wrote a book about fathers and daughters. And it was meant because I was a teacher for a very long time. It was a way for me to give my parents or my students' parents a little bit of tips and lessons on how they can be better parents and how they can give their kids that support and that encouragement for their education. And it's really based on my story with my father, who is from Mexico. He's from Monterrey, and when he and my mother got married, they moved to Houston, and I was born here. So for me, it was just like sort of learning the lessons of my father and his country, and also becoming an independent American girl. So that's where the story comes from. And today's guest, I'm really excited to tell you about because he also has a teenage daughter that he's raising himself. So I really want to get into a little bit of his parenting, a little bit of his life, and just to get to know him a little bit more. His name is Mr. Leonardo Velasquez. And ever since he was 15 years old, he made his first puppet workshop. And then he could not go back again. He loved it. He fell in love. At 11 years old, you went to a rehearsal with your big brother.
Yes.
Yes. And then you saw that you really had something with theater and acting. And so that really got you really thinking
Yes.
maybe that's what you wanted to do. And you're from Venezuela. And in Venezuela, you created a little children's entertainment performing Bailalin Balalan. That was in Venezuela. And you also work with schools, nonprofits, children's parties, all kinds of events. You have also a degree in educational psychology. So that's really interesting. Very, very interesting. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And your Leo puppet show and entertainment is family oriented, so it's for everybody.
Yes.
And it's meant to also help, educate parents, entertain the family, and just basically give everybody some really good, valuable lessons along the way. No? Very cool. Thank you for being on the show today, Mr. Leo.
It's a pleasure for me. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much for being here today because, for me, it's just so important that we not only give people information, but we inspire people. And I think you're definitely an inspiration. And just talking to you the last 10, 15 minutes, I feel inspired to share you with everybody because your story is very amazing and you come from Venezuela. So tell me a little bit about your life and your transition from living in Venezuela to living in Houston now.
Okay, I'm from Venezuela. I came to Houston 5 years ago. When I remember when I decided to move to Venezuela because it's so sad. Venezuela is a really mess right now.
Mm-hmm.
Political. Oh my God, that happened. I talked with my daughter about this. Say, Camila, we need to move to our country because we need to more safe. I want a better future for you and for me or whatever. And I went to Europe because I have family in Europe, and I went to Mexico because I have family in Mexico too. But I have one opportunity here in Houston, United States, and I say, Camila, okay, do you want to come with me? She said, yes. I remember 5 years ago, I came in March and alone. I say, Camila, do you have to wait? When you're finished your school in July, you come with me. This is a sad or good story because I cry every night.
Oh my goodness, because you missed her.
Yes, I miss her. She was 13 years old, and I say maybe I can do that. Maybe the next month I come back to Venezuela. Every night before work, I work, with any immigrants, make like a food service, pizza delivery, waiter, whatever. And every night when I come to middle of the night, wake up and I say, I start to cry. I can do it.
Yeah, you missed her too
But
much.
yes, I miss my daughter. You say I want to miss my daughter life because she's 13 years old, and I say, but I try every day. I start to cry when I get the ticket for my daughter.
Okay.
When I get the ticket, I say, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
She come in July. I remember when I saw her at the airport, I feel like a freeze. And I start to cry. And my mom come with her and say, hey, she's here. Go hug her. I feel like, wow.
Why is it so important to bring her from Venezuela? What's the situation right now? What can you tell my listeners about why you were so desperate to get her here?
Right now, it's like a Latin American problem: education, health. But in Venezuela right now, it's a really rich country. But Chavez and Maduro, they are destroying the country right now. The corruption.
And it's still going. And I know there was an uprising of Venezuelans that didn't want it. And what happened?
Yes, never stop.
They don't stop
because we have 2 or 3 different countries. Poor people.
No, I mean, we see a lot of the things about hunger and how they're going to other countries and they're hungry.
Yes, but we have rich people. They have living like a.
So there's no middle class in Venezuela. It's only poor.
I was middle class.
You were middle class.
I think the middle class is disappearing in my country.
Okay.
Do you know? Do you have a poor person or a rich person? And it's too hard to live in a country like this. Right now, I try to help my family in Venezuela, and I say, how much is for if you go to the supermarket, say $19 right now. If you wanna get something, it's $1.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I said, wow. Do you know what all change here? It's maybe 15 or $45.
Yeah.
In Venezuela, it's a double.
And it's really good perspective, for my listeners to understand that, unless you travel to countries in Latin America, you really don't understand a little bit of unless somebody tells you what they've faced and why they come to this country. And a lot of the people that immigrate to America, because the situations in their countries are so dire. I mean, some people don't have jobs anymore. I know another Venezolano that works in my house. He had his farm taken from him. He used to have a farm, maybe 20 years ago, and they took it from him. And so he didn't have anything else anymore. He was a businessman. He was very wealthy in Venezuela. And here he puts tiles on floors, so it's very different for him.
Yes.
Situations.
Yes, it's so different. Latin America, I live in Brazil for 1 year. I was raised in Venezuela. I love Venezuelan culture, Venezuelan food, Venezuela culture.
You would prefer to be in Venezuela if the situation was better.
Yes. Yeah. I was a it's good life. I remember when I said I have a good life, but maybe when I came here, I used dance, music,
beautiful,
puppet, light, whatever.
I love that. So if they want to hire you for puppet, we're going to give them the link where they can find you so that they can come and hire you. But one thing that I do want to go back to and talk to you about is you brought your daughter from Venezuela and she's 19 years old now.
19 years old. She came when she was 13 years old.
Okay. And how did she adapt to the schools in America? Was it easy? Was it difficult?
Easy.
Okay.
When I came here, I said to Camila, I have I think a really different kind of, the people say, if you are success for me is if you love what you do. That's the success for me. And
is that something that you teach her? That's a value that you talk to her all the time?
If you feel happy when you wake up in the morning.
So let me talk a little bit about that, because I think one thing that a lot of immigrant fathers don't realize that they're teaching their girls and they're teaching their daughters, especially, because that's what my book is about, is the work ethic. And the waking up early and the going into work every day. And sometimes you like what you do and sometimes you don't. And sometimes you have to do the job just because you have to make some money, to survive. Or, and I think that's one lesson that I always tell the fathers is like, don't be ashamed to tell your girls or your kids how hard your life was at the beginning, or how hard it was for you, to get a job, or how hard it was for you to wake up at 4:00 in the morning. It was the same thing for my father. He would wake up at 4:00 in the morning. He would have his breakfast and then leave. And I paid attention to that because for me, as I was growing up, I didn't know anything else but have like a really strong work ethic. And I think your daughter's learning that. And I think that's something that we forget to teach our kids. We want to make it easy for them. We want to make sure that the kids have everything and everything is easy, but it's okay. Sometimes they have to learn that they have to wake up early for jobs, that they have to be on time, they have to be punctual. You were very punctual today, but a lot of people don't consider that. They think, well, I'll make it there when I get there.
No,
And those are values that are all your kids are paying attention to, and your daughter's paying attention to right now. So I was going to ask you that: how do you deal with those emotions and their feelings? Because I know you want to be very protective of her, but at the same time, you want to let her fly.
Yes, because when she's flying, I feel so happy. But I feel like this is a feeling every day. Right now, I die happy because she's
okay.
Independent. She's okay. I remember when my mom, because I asked my mom, I have two brothers and one sister, and I remember when my little brothers have 17 years old, he came to United States.
Mm-hmm.
And when I remember that, I asked to my mom, how do you feel about this? Yeah. My mom told me, that's it. One of bigger highlight with my mom. Mm-hmm. Say, if you are next to my house, if you are in next city to my house, if you are in China, if you are happy, I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
And that's it. Do you know the kids? They are on like.
But why is that so difficult for so many people, Leo? Like, why is it so difficult for some people to accept that their kids are going to find their own happiness, and it's not what you think it needs to be or what you think it should be? So many fathers, for example, I met them throughout my life. They wanted the girls to do this, and this, and that's it. You're not doing anything else. And my book was about, encouraging them, like saying, get out of this mentality of like, you're the authority. Mm-hmm. Independence is good for her. Oh no, it's like you're saying she's not going to love me anymore. She's not going to take care of her families anymore. She's going to forget her mom and her dad if you say independent. It's not like that. It is absolutely the opposite. Yes. You're letting her grow.
I give it to her tool for her life.
Right.
Yeah, she take the tools. I'm flying. I feel so happy when she say that I want to move to campus university. Go, let's do it. Try it. Do you know? I'm here for you. All my life, I'm here for you. That's you need support.
And it's very simple that way. I think it makes everything simple if you just say, I'm here for you, whatever you need.
Whatever you need.
And it's unconditional. There's no conditions on the love.
The love.
Unless you do this, I will do that for you. Unless you do that, then I will love you more. Yeah. And I think that's where kids get the idea that unless they're going to be super successful in careers or money or business, that their parents won't love them anymore because they didn't succeed to the crazy levels the parents.
I make this question for me every day: how to measure the love for my daughter? I never find a way to. Mm-hmm. It's a big love.
Yeah,
you have kids too. Yeah. It's like when I saw her, I say, "Oh my goodness, oh, I'm here for you all my life." And you know what? When you have to make her dad, her friend, with respect. And I say, if I'm trusting you, do you have to trust in me all the life?
Mm-hmm. And trust is a very important value that you teach.
It's a big
and that's
value.
It's a very big value because I think that they say, well, I trust you, but I don't trust your friends. Well, that's okay. But how are you showing her that you trust her? Are you really letting her do things by herself? Are you really letting her make decisions? Because sometimes as fathers, you make decisions for them. You really don't trust them.
Yes.
You have to really live it.
That's it. When the last year she say, Dad, I'm going to friends brunch because it's her birthday. Okay, go do it. Mm-hmm. For brunch. And I say 5 o'clock. I say, where is my daughter? Mm-hmm. And some parents call me, hey Leo, where are the girls? I don't know. They are I think they are in a late house, whatever. I say, because I check my daughter GPS and they're in Columbus. Oh my goodness. Can you call Camila because she always pick up the phone for you? Okay. Hey, Where are you? We go to Lily's house, but where are you right now? We went to Austin. Okay, Camila, I'm trusting you. If you are in
Mhm.
Houston, if you move to another city, please tell me because that is the truth. The truth. And I say that was a very special day because when she get back to the home and say, Camila, it's okay, don't worry. But tell me if you want to change your plans. Tell me because if something happened, I know.
Absolutely.
Camila is in Austin. Is so happy I get to get my car and go.
And you're making it easy for her to come to you to tell you because you're not going to be screaming, you're not going to be loud, you're not going to be punishing her. You're just going to say, "Listen, give me the truth. Let's talk about it. Let's be honest, and we can figure it out."
Yes, and I say, I make a puppet show about this. It's a star. She she come to the sky and say she made a beer and I say I want to stay here. Can you protect me if you tell the truth? It's better all the time. And that day, my daughter say, Dad, she start crying. I want to tell you something. Okay, what? I'm here for you. Tell me. Do you know my friend? Oh, she's not my friend. She's my girlfriend. And I say, it's okay for you. It's okay for me. I love you. I love you, Camila. If you are happy, I'm happy for you. Do you have to defend yourself? That's it. If you are happy, I'm happy for you. Do you know I am an open mind? Do you know I think about this? Everybody love people with the same sex or whatever. I believe in the love.
Right.
But the love, the colors don't have gender. If you feel happy, come on here. I hug you. I love you.
Very powerful.
I love you. I love you because if you are happy, I'm happy for you, and that's it. And your girlfriend come to this house, whatever. And 2 months later, I met girlfriend family. We have a good time. They are really, really beautiful family, and that's it. She's happy right now.
How did you get to that place? How did you get to that place where you were so loving and accepting of your daughter?
Because when you read, when you know the story of the world, you know the world is like the same way.
Thousands of years
ago. The Greece, Romans, whatever. The world is like this. I love diversity. I love different cultures, and you have to accept the people is
and
like
it's unconditional. It's a true unconditional love.
Yes,
you love her, and ultimately you said, "I want you to be happy."
Yes, if you're happy, that's it. Whatever. It's the only thing I want to my
What
daughter.
can you tell other fathers who are facing something like that right now, and maybe they don't know how to open up to their children who are probably gay and don't know how to say it? Don't
accept. That's it. You know, the world is different. The people are different. I saw that they're different religion and different taste.
But what if they say it's against God, it's a sin? You know, how do you counter those arguments?
I'm not a religion person. Do you know this is so hard for a religion person because they are, that is a sin. It's a mistake. No, for
you're
me,
going to hell.
Yes, no, I don't believe in heaven and hell. I believe right now in this space.
And right now you love her, and you need to love her, and she needs you to be loved. She needs you to love her.
Yes, that's it. She need to be accepted for her. Yeah. And I remember and say, can you tell to my mommy? And say, no, you have to tell to your mommy because I think your mommy is think like me because I was married with her for 10 years. I know her, and that's it. Her mommy is happy too, and when my family. So when I saw the first picture in my daughter's social media, I say, I feel so happy. I say, yes, that's it. You got it. Don't feel fear about
shame
about the world. That's it. You got it. That's it. I accept you, and that's it. That is the kids need.
Do you think it's a generational thing? You think the younger parents are more accepting of their children, their differences, that not only just being gay, but like being more extroverted or more artistic.
That happened in the 70s. the same thing that happened.
But you think that now, you think they were more accepting back then? I don't think so. I think they were in the closet a lot more, and they were more shamed.
Yes, but we have 2 more people in the closet, but we have 2 more people on the street. You know, it's like, hey, I am here. This is my boyfriend. This is my girlfriend. It's like, I saw that on the street, and I say, I feel happy because we have too many people in the closet, but you have too many people get out of the closet and feel happy. Okay, that's it, me. If you accept me, it's okay. And that's it.
I love that. I love that because I think it's important that we share that with other parents and we share that with other fathers who are having a very hard time, especially Latino fathers have a very, very hard time accepting their children, accepting who they are, accepting that they're maybe a little bit different, that they're not like you. You know, it's the argument. Is it nature or is it nurture? Is it the environment or is it because you're born that way? I mean, there's always
they have no explication about this.
There's no reason. Yeah.
I make 2 knowledge about this, and they don't have an explication about this. That the people is like this, and that's it. It's like when you say, are you vegetarian? The people look like, what? But what happened? It's okay. Don't worry. If you like horse, if you like cat, if you like doggies, if you like cockroach, whatever you want.
Yeah, and I think it's very hard for some people to see that there's differences out there because they live in a bubble. I think so many families live in bubbles or live in like a community where they don't see anything else outside of what's in that bubble.
But the system wants you the same way to another person. You have to get married, get kids, and get a job. That's it. When you make something different, happened for me with the artist people, with the artist job professional.
And that's what Americans really embrace.
Yes.
And I think once they realize that you don't need a lot of things to be happy, because it's really I mean, I was in India, I was in Mexico, I've been all over the world, and I see people have this joy for life and really has nothing to do with money. In this episode, which is a retro episode, I talk to young fathers about raising young girls in the modern era. I hope you enjoy. Welcome back to the Vibes by Alicia podcast, everybody. I am so excited to share with you today a very special episode, an episode that I look forward to every year because it's a Father's Day episode. And it's a very important episode for me because I wrote a book about fathers and daughters a few years ago. And it holds a very special space in my heart. So every year for the last 7 years, I do like a Father's Day celebration. Sometimes I do an event. Right? We've done an event at your shop. We do a book fair. Sometimes I record a podcast. And this year, I definitely am recording a podcast with 2 fathers that I'm invited today. I'm super excited about this because I have 2 young dads. So I don't have some old farts in here today. And I'm really excited to share with you all 2 dads that are very intentional about inspiring other dads and also very instructive in the way that they are raising their 2 daughters. So for me, it is a pleasure to present to you all and welcome my brother, Jose Araujo. He's my brother. He's my youngest brother. He is 8 years younger than I am. Can you believe that? I know I don't look that old. No. And so he's a dad to a 19-year-old girl, Jade Isabella, which we love, and a 12-year-old boy, Gavin Santos. And I also have my trainer friend, Matt Mitchell, and he is the father to a young lady of 8 years old, but she's almost 9. She's going to be 9 this month, and she's McKinley.
Yep, my baby.
Yeah, so welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being on the podcast. I'm really excited about this.
Same here.
And my husband, Rusk, is here, too, because, we do love to have Rusk around.
Thank you, because I always got a lot of things to say.
Yeah, way too many things to say sometimes. You know what, though? But, this episode is really important for me because for the last 7 years since I published my book, I always have an event. But let's start with you guys. Let's start a little bit with you both. You are both young fathers. So tell me a little bit about being a young dad. So I'll start with you, Pep, and tell me you were 19 when you had your baby girl, Jade.
I was 20. I had just turned 20 when she was born.
You had just turned 20.
Wow. Yeah. So right out of high school, well, a couple years in college, and then she came about. Yeah.
Was it scary?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, you have no idea what to expect. I mean, I was a kid still, and I was going to be raising a kid, so that absolutely was scary in itself. Yeah.
And she's such a beautiful young lady now
Yeah,
in
she
college.
came out really well. Yeah. Yeah, she came out really well. So
She did.
she's very smart. Very.
She's she's 19 now.
She's 19 now.
She's
Yeah.
19 now. So
Yeah.
it's an amazing trajectory for you both. Matt, how old were you when you had your daughter?
So this year I'm turning 31. My daughter is turning 9. So
About 23.
I was roughly 22, turning 23. Yeah. So I mean, roughly around the same age. Even between 20 and 21, 22, 23, your mindset is still the exact same. You know, like it's still, you know, you super young. You don't really know what you're getting yourself into, and
Was it
kinda
scary?
It was really scary. I think it was that feeling of unknown, right? Like I didn't know what it meant to be a father, but then also scary as in like this is a new venture, and I knew it was going to be something that was going to make me stronger, and then also it was going to bring joy to my life. So just scary in so many different ways.
Right, so when you became fathers, what was the first thing that came to your mind in terms of like, how am I going to raise this little girl? Did you feel like you were confident in that, or did you feel comfortable with that? Or
I felt extremely confident. Yeah, I mean, you know, we grew up with my dad being around us every day of our
Right.
lives, so I kind of had a background, you know, from him, you know, being around us, and I kind of knew that if I just followed his steps, I think I was going to do okay.
yeah, a good example.
I don't know if I feel confident because I don't know. It's just I think confidence would have been hard to. That's not the feeling that I had. More so, my feeling more so was me knowing that I was going to do my best, no matter what. I wasn't going to give up on my daughter on anything in life, and knowing that me doing my best would be something that she would appreciate, you know, in life, and that would help her. So
Right. Was there a fear that you wouldn't know what to do with a girl because you were so accustomed to being a boy and like knowing what to do for boys and not knowing what to do for girls?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I still have those fears.
She still hasn't.
Yeah.
She still hasn't gone through the teenage years yet.
Yeah,
And
no.
I think that's the biggest dichotomy for a father and a daughter. And I think Jose can attest to
Absolutely.
that because your daughter's now 20, right?
She's 20.
Well,
Well,
she's
19.
approaching. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
right. She's approaching 20. So it's a whole different. It's a different thing. It's a different dynamic between boys and sons and daughters, which I don't have experience with, but I think you can attest to that.
Oh yeah, and I mean, my son's completely different from the way, you know, we raised our daughter, straight up. I mean, you know, but Jade was extremely smart, extremely outgoing, and never had any problems with her. So it's always been really easy with her. It's just, we've never had a hard time with her, really. Yeah, it's been pretty easy.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing about you know, raising girls. It's like really understanding where your girl's coming from and understanding her viewpoint, right? So if she's already a smart girl, she's already kind of established herself for independence. I think the role of a father is just to kind of nurture that girl that's already developing, right, Matt? What do you
Yeah.
think about that?
I totally agree.
Yeah.
So I think that kids, like us as parents, like we have the tendency to like want to steer our kid in the right direction,
Yes,
right?
right.
But there has to be a line where we get to where we're like, okay, we're gonna let them make this decision. I'm gonna let them, you know, make this decision on their own or whatever it is, right? But also at the same time, I'm gonna tell them whether they follow their face or they're successful at it. I'm gonna help them get through that. And I think that the nurturing part, like the the nurturing part, as far as, you know, wanting to do everything for your child is the hard part, because you have to eventually separate. Thank you for getting that. I was like,
Oh my goodness, that damn fly.
it's just a fly.
Oh, there's another one in here. I gotta get it.
But yeah, just to go back, I mean, that's just one thing that you have to. I got a taste of that over the weekend with my
You
daughter.
did. Okay, what happened?
I was going to ask you that. You have a recent experience of that disconnect there?
So-
that kind of like, wow, I didn't see this coming, or
Right.
something similar to that.
I've never really. So my daughter this weekend, for the first time, I let her get away with not doing what I wanted. I'm gonna put it like that.
Okay.
So my daughter's been running track, right? She's
Yes, yes, I saw
doing
that.
phenomenal. Like
Yes.
her first year in track, and I mean,
That's your daughter on your Instagram post running on the tracks.
Right.
That's her.
Yes.
Right?
yeah. So, and I mean, like, phenomenal is in like her first year. She's a natural. Like, she's came in first in a lot of different heats, and whether or not she was first or last, and she just gave it all. You know, like, I would be proud regardless.
Effort.
But like, I mean, like, I'm like, girl, this is to the point where,
Yes.
like, if we keep working at this, you will be really good. But I digress. She had a track meet, and I think I just put a little bit too much on her plate. And so in track, you have certain things that you can sign up for, right? Certain events. And I signed her up for, I usually, for the first half of the season, we signed her up for about 2 events. Well, this track meet, I signed her up for 3. I signed her up for a relay. She's like, Dad, I don't know. I don't want to do a relay. I don't know how to do it.
What were the other 2 events besides the relay?
The 100 meter, right? It's just an individual. You just
Right.
run straight 100
Right.
meters. And the 400, right? Which you run 400. You just run a lot.
And
right?
she's 8, almost 9.
8, almost 9. All
Yeah.
the girls she's running with are like
Okay.
9 and 10. Right? So she's already kind of like, Dad, I don't know. Like, these
Yeah.
girls are bigger,
they're
older.
older.
Right. And she's thinking, like, these girls are faster. I'm like, girl, you are there. If anything, you've beaten a lot of these older girls. But anyways,
So just not to digress a little bit, but the relay, it was a 4x100,
right.
which is
No,
just
it was the 4x4.
400. Okay, I see. So that's a very different training than training for the 400.
The 4x400, you have to run a lap and then hand it off
Right.
to the person who's
Okay.
next, right? And they just do this over and over 4 times. She did this last week. She did phenomenal. But the reason why I got her to do it last week is because I kind of enticed her to do it. I gave her an incentive. You know, like, I'm not that aggressive.
Did
That's
you
really
get to
not
the
me.
bottom of why she didn't want to do it though?
Yes. So
You
I
did,
asked
okay.
her to.
Yeah,
So
you asked her.
I talked to her, and the coach talked to her too as well. And she, part of it is her. One of the reasons why I put her in track and field is because to build her confidence. She's not 100% confident, even though she's good. She's not confident.
Right, right.
And then also she has a little bit of social anxiety. So
Okay.
she'll like go in a setting. I remember dropping her off with like these 20 girls that she's been running track with all season
And she
long.
knows them pretty well.
She knows them, but she won't say hey to anybody.
Her body and her strength and her physicality is there, right? And you see it. As a dad, you're like, oh my God, I see it. But her mind hasn't gotten to that point yet.
Right.
And I think that's the hardest thing, I think, as parents, is to kind of like look at our kids and see, you know, we see this potential, we see this growth, we see this amazing thing coming and like burgeoning out like a flower, just flowering, but then it's still not ready to flower yet.
Right.
You have to give it that time, right? And I think that's the hardest part. As I think as parents, fathers to any kids, boys or girls.
Yeah, the most
Right?
challenging thing is balance between trying to push your kids but not pushing them past that point of no return where they don't want to do it anymore.
And where they hate it.
Right, where they hate it.
And then
right.
they're resentful
Right.
for you because you pushed them to that point.
So many of our sons' friends have parents that put them in 5 different athletic programs,
Yeah.
basketball, football, and they're just they're tortured, they're traumatized, they're just mad at everything.
That their girl, you see it and you see the big picture. They don't see it yet for themselves. Like that's a thing that Rusk and I always have a conversation with about our kid because we're like, well, you know, I'm giving my kid this, I'm giving my kid that, but he won't do it for me. Because they still don't see how important it is to give and take, like the two-way street, right?
Right.
It's for them at this point, especially for a 19-year-old, it's a one-way street for him all the time. What are you doing for me? Why aren't you doing this for me? But it's hard for us because we're like, yeah, but we're giving you a lot. We're giving you, giving and giving and giving.
Right.
It's okay for you to be there for mom and do something for me too, right? Like that's the hard part. And I think it's just a maturity level and getting to that point in their life, in their age gap or whatever, you know, age they're in, like reaching that point.
Yep.
So, you know, going back to that, do you ever find yourself like giving her some incentives, giving Jade some incentives? Do what you say. I'm calling them incentives or tokens,
Well, not anymore.
but
I mean, she's
they're
19
really
and
like
she works,
bribes.
right?
You know, they're
So-
really like bribes.
But I mean, we're kind of in the same situation. I mean, you know, Jade is not in athletics right now. It's more academic, right? So whenever she joined college, you know, she mentioned she wanted to do nursing, which is great. you know, we need nurses, absolutely.
Of course, yeah.
But what I told her, I said, I know your potential. I know how smart you are. I said, why don't you try, you know, pre-med, you know, maybe, you know, go for the doctor kind of route, you know?
Yes,
try
of
to be the
course.
best you can at the medicine part. And she wants to try it. But, you know, as she's going through school now, some of the classes that she take for pre-med are, you know, really hard. And she's like, I can't do it, this and that. And I'm not incentivizing her.
Yeah,
I'm just asking her to try it out.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't happen, I told her then it doesn't happen, and, you know, go back to your normal route that you were going to take anyways and go to nursing. There's no problem with nursing.
But she
I would
did
like
it,
to try the
right?
fact-
But she did this first year. And she
did the first year.
She accomplished pre-cal,
She did.
right?
Yeah, she
Which-
passed it.
She
Yeah.
passed it,
And
which
not
is
a lot of
a
kids pass
very
it.
hard class,
Absolutely,
by the
yeah.
way. And
So I
what
know
an
she can do
amazing-
it.
Yeah,
I know she can do it.
She
I
can
know.
do it.
I know she can get to that
Yeah.
level
Yeah.
that a doctor gets to.
She
right?
has that in her. She just has to believe that she can
Right.
get to that level.
Yeah. So it's no incentives. I'm like, just try it for me. Just give it
Yeah,
a try.
yeah.
You know, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm not gonna be disappointed anyways. You know,
Yeah.
at least you gave it a try.
Yeah, and I think the important part about this is like really encouraging our girls to really believe in themselves, like you believe in them, but you have to allow that process to happen. Like it cannot be forced upon us. It cannot be forced, because if you force it on me and you tell me, but you're supposed to do this and that's who I want you to be, then I'm gonna be like, then I'm definitely checking out. I'm definitely gonna check out.
It has to come organic.
It has to be organic for sure.
So what I understood you say, Jose, was that she was challenged in pre-calculus.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-calculus is just a basic class, regardless if she goes the nursing route
Right.
or the doctor route.
Right.
So that it's irrespective of that. She's going to have to take that no matter which. She
gonna
wants to
have
be an
to.
architect or businesswoman or
Right.
whatever. So
Yeah. So she's struggling with that one
Right,
class,
but-
which is.
but that's just
But let's talk about what you enjoy the most about being dads. What do you enjoy the most about being a father? What is the thing that just brings you the most joy?
So when it comes to being a father, I think for me, definitely the unconditional love, right? Like, I mean, you got somebody, like,
Yes.
somebody that no matter what, right, you're gonna love them, love the heck out of them, and they're gonna love the heck out of you, you know. But I mean, as far as like being a girl dad, though,
Yes,
a girl dad too. I think it's. I feel like the love from your daughter is just extremely special. I can't.
it's priceless.
It's priceless. And from your boy too as well, right? Both sides. But I mean, it's just.
It's different for father-daughter as it is for mother-son.
Right. It is.
Father-son is more of a kind of a structured, discipline-based, right? You know, respect women, you know, don't do dumb stuff. It's less emotional. But for father-daughters, it seems, looking
And
from
you're
the outside.
setting an expectation for what she's going to seek in a partner
In the future. Right.
And that's probably the hardest part is, you know, again, now she's 19, so we're transitioning. I know, you know, the Mexican culture, they start transitioning to a young lady at 15, and it's fine. But I think now, 19, 20, 21, is when they actually start finding
She's coming to her
themselves, and
own.
she's coming into her own,
Yeah.
and becoming her own woman, you know?
True.
So that's really the hardest part is she going to make the right decisions? Is she going to do, you know, the right thing, you know? But again, it's so hard for me to, you know, tell her not to do things.
If you have to
know.
trust that she knows what
Right,
she's doing.
yeah,
You have to trust that.
And absolutely, 100% trust that she will. But it's so hard for me to, you know, to tell her not to do certain things when, you know, I was 20 when I had her, you know, and she's at the age right now where, you know, we were pregnant with her.
For sure,
Yeah, and I know it's not coming close to that. But it's just so hard for me to see the next step. That's the hardest part.
What do
And
you
it's also the funnest part because you never know what's going to happen.
What do you enjoy the most about
Again, the
raising
unconditional
her?
love
The
is great. I
unconditional
mean,
love,
it's you know, it's somebody that's a part of you, absolutely, 100% part of you, and they don't care what you do. They don't care what you do for a living. They don't care about anything. They just want you around. I mean, I think that's pretty special. And again, their happiness, just see them smile. I mean, doing whatever they love, whatever they want to do. You know, we get to travel. You know, they enjoy it. She loves it. You know, my
She
daughter loves
loves
it.
it.
She loves to travel. My
She's
son
like her
loves his
tia.
baseball.
She's like her tia. She's
Absolutely,
just
yeah.
like
I
her
mean,
tia.
it's all your fault, right?
It's all me. I'm the one. I'm the one. I'm
Those
the one.
genetics somehow.
The genes. She's my baby. She's my baby too.
And then, you know, Santos, you know, he loves baseball. I mean, he's done baseball since T-ball, so
yeah, I remember that.
It's embedded in him now, and he's like, man, I'm just so glad you put me in baseball a long time ago. I'm like, good. I'm glad you enjoy it. I mean, that's the benefit of, I think, of fatherhood, is to get to see your kids progress in life.
True.
You guys, I want to introduce to you my skincare expert, Natalia Castillo. Everyone wants to know, how in the world do I have the most gorgeous, beautiful skin? Yeah, thank you very much. I know. And it is because of her. Natalia Castillo is my go-to skincare specialist. She takes care of me. And I'm telling you, you guys will love her. You will find her at the ACPS. It is the Aesthetic Center for Plastic Surgery. And if you really, really want to know more about them, you can visit them at their website, ACPS Plastic Surgery. It is a med spa that I love to go to. It's so easy, just calling in and say, I need to set up an appointment for my facial with Natalia. And they take care of me immediately, in and out. They take care of skin rejuvenation. They do something called derma infusion. They do cool sculpting. And Natalia does all of that. She's also taking care of my laser needs. Like, she does laser reduction for me. And I swear to you, people say, oh, it's painful. She makes it so painless. Love, love, love her. So if you need to find out more about how you can get great skin, follow her at her Instagram, Natalia Castillo, at Natalia Castillo. You will not regret it. I will give you guys all the details, and she will take care of you. I promise you, she will do a great job for your skin. You will not regret it, and you will have the best skin of 2022. My friends, I want to introduce to you the Vanguard Agency. They are fit for Texas. They are in the business of helping people to save money. For all of insurance needs, the Vanguard Agency cannot wait to work with you. Get a quote for your home, get a quote for your auto, a quote for your business and restaurant. They are ready to shop your insurance policies with top-rated insurance companies. Go see my friend Humberto Garcia. He's been in the business a long time and makes an effort to make your insurance policy needs as seamless as possible for all of you. Tell him you heard about them here when you call him at 281-453-8770. They speak Spanish, and I know they will take care of you. For sure.
I also think when it comes to girls too, like, girls are a little bit more like emotional, and they're, I would say, more within little boys, right? And affectionate. Like, my daughter, she comes up, like, the hugs and the kisses on the cheek and all that stuff. It's just, I mean, I know it's just different than having a little boy. And I think that's one of the biggest differences. It's just like her showing her love, but then also, like, whenever I proposed to my fiance, my daughter cried. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, those little moments, like, they
Yeah.
just break you down. And you're like, oh my God, man, I'm about to cry. You know?
Reminds you there's a big heart somewhere, right?
Right.
Yeah, there's a big heart in there. And I think women, like, not just women, but girls and women in general, like, really soften a man.
Yeah.
Like, I remember meeting Rusk. He was so, like, non-affectionate. Back in, 22 years ago. He was not affectionate. I'm super affectionate. Like, my family is affectionate. People will tell you.
Yeah, that was
we
very strange.
love and kiss each other.
You guys
We're
were
just
huggy-dubby.
always
You
hugging.
guys
Basically calls the Brady Bunch.
You guys were the Brady Bunch.
He says we were the Brady
Brady
Bunch. We
Bunch,
were
yeah.
just, and I was super affectionate. I'm like always hanging on him, and he was kind of like, like, you're a little much, And then I would cuddle in bed, and he was like, oh, give me my space. But then this is what happened. I stopped doing that, and he was like, why are you not coming over now? I'm like, oh, because you don't really like it. I'm like, no, I do. I really do.
I got used to it after 20 years.
So women,
I need my back scratched.
So women and girls,
You got big arms, you can't scratch the
your
back.
back scratched. That's what I'm there for. I'm there to scratch his back. But I think women and girls just soften that little puppy up, I think, and it just really like gives you that moment. But let me ask you guys about something else, because social media is a big, big part in a girl's life right now, especially in this day and age. 2022 was something that we didn't have back when I was growing up in the early 1990s.
as a teenager, 1988, 1989, that didn't exist. Like, we just had music that we listened to, and that was it. Like, we called our friends on the phone, and, that was it. Like, on a landline, by the way. It wasn't even a cell phone, right? Or texting anybody. How do you guys confront that, and how do you have that conversation with your girls about social media, especially because there is so much influence on women and on girls on social media, on looks, on beauty, skincare, hair, are they fat? Are they skinny? Like that kind of thing. It's like always so pervasive. So let's start with you, Pep. How do you see that?
Yeah, so definitely, I mean, with a girl growing up in this day and age, they're definitely gonna, get a complex basically. They're
sure.
never perfect.
Right.
You can put a lot of filters on these camera pictures, and these girls on Instagram look perfect, but reality they're really not. And to a young lady, it doesn't look that way, right? It looks like everything's easy. Going on vacations is easy. It's really not. I mean, a lot of these things, it's superficial,
Yeah.
but they don't understand it.
No.
They don't get it. They see it as real life because it's everywhere for them.
So true, yeah.
Yeah, so we try to ground her, as much as we can, but we still kind of let her do her thing that she wants to do on her makeup
So she's
and
still
find
on
her
social,
self-identity.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she has to find herself, look wise and dressing wise. She finds herself, and that's the best thing we can do, really. I mean, without actually taking entire social media away from her, because we can't do it. There's no way to do that.
Right. What about you, Matt?
Well, fortunately, I'm not really at the point of where she's really, I guess.
But it's coming.
Extremely exposed. Yes.
But you're a big influencer. I mean, you're a fitness influencer.
Yeah.
I have, I mean, I use my social media, of course, for my business, in general, just, for life. But my daughter, I guess she would probably be more so like exposed to like YouTube, maybe like TikTok here and there. I tell her, I mean, to be responsible with it at her, is responsible as she can. Like, and when I say that, I mean is in like when it comes to like watching videos. If it's an adult content, like what you should not or should be watching. And I'm not to say that it's she's not gonna see it or that she's gonna listen every time. I give her that enough trust to I let her know that I trust you not to do it, and also I trust that that I'm gonna find out if regardless it's gonna come out. So it's just that conversation where look, I'm giving you the trust to use these things, to do it and to make sure that you use
And be
it.
Responsible about
very
it.
responsible. But also, I mean, when it comes to like self-esteem and stuff like that too, we've had like little issues, as even whenever she was younger, and I don't know if it was necessarily social media, it would be more so like within the classroom or like within school, like kids looking different than her, and it just came down to we had to specifically spend a lot of time trying to tell her, doing things to help with her confidence. And this is, again, why you don't want to put her in something like track and field, but then also, just reaffirming like positive things, like you're so smart, so beautiful, like, don't, and then her talking about, she wants sometimes she will, like my daughter has curly hair, and she'll love to wear like, like the, like tracks or like weave or whatever, like put things in her hair to make it longer and like, more, what am I thinking, straight. And I mean, we entertain it. We'll let her do it and stuff like that. But we also tell her, like, you have beautiful hair. You have gorgeous hair.
Yeah, that's a very, very good comment you're making, because I wanted to ask you about
Absolutely.
that. Like, how do you raise girls of color to be confident in a very white mainstream world? Right? Like, that's not because it's any better or any less. It's because we're different, and the way we are being raised is different. So as a father, you are really making it very clear that her natural hair is just as beautiful and it's special. She doesn't need to add anything to it.
I mean, just reaffirming that same stuff. Like, it's pretty, it's beautiful, and then we're gonna do things to your hair, to make it, to show how beautiful it is. But then also, even when it comes down to little things, like whenever, like, so when my daughter went and picked out this doll, I talked about this doll that I got my daughter to get. And she goes, I mean, and honestly, this is just part of what her mom's been doing since she was younger, right? She says, if you get a doll, she doesn't have to get a black Barbie doll or whatever, but you have to get, like, we prefer you to find a doll some of a different color, right? Like, don't go straight to the white Barbie dolls. Like, play with somebody that you think you may
You
see.
can relate to a little
Right,
bit, yeah.
right.
And not to say she doesn't have, like, she has the white Barbies and all that stuff, but you don't need to just play with all of those. You know, like, bring in some that you can relate to.
And
some
what does
that
she
look
pick?
like
Does she
you.
pick something that's relatable to her, or
Every time now she does
the
it off
typical
top.
Barbie?
She knows off top that if she's gonna choose a Barbie or something like that, she always wants to get one that looks like her or somebody that she knows or something like that.
But that's
I love
important
that.
too, right? Because
It's so
there was a
important.
long time ago that there wasn't Barbie dolls that
No,
looked like
no, there weren't.
you
There
know.
weren't.
So I think it's good that she gets something that looks similar to her because that's kind of the point, right? I
Right.
mean, it's you progress, us as a society and them as younger
Exactly.
women.
To make it acceptable across the board that we're all just humans, right?
Right.
And the
Exactly.
beauty ideals is not just the white, perfect, 11 white girl.
Right.
There's so many different shades of beauty.
Right.
And her beauty is natural to her, and her beauty is natural to her, and it's special to her. And I think that's the one thing that I think as fathers and as dads can establish for a girl. It's that they don't need to be anything more than they already are themselves intrinsically. And that's enough.
And I think eventually
Right.
your daughter will realize that when she gets older, is that there's a lot of women out there that work really hard to get the hair like how she has it naturally.
Right.
Yeah.
They spend a lot of money to get that type of hair as well.
Right.
I know.
So if other women want to get the hair, then it's obviously a beautiful hair.
Right, or the lips, or the
All that
Yes.
stuff.
whatever features.
Whatever it is, whatever
Body.
features.
Eventually,
yeah.
she will figure it out.
Is that your experience
With what?
with Jade?
Um,
And eventually figures it out because I don't think you talked a lot about her adolescent years, going through high school and the challenges you had there.
Like I
'Cause we
said,
had
she was pretty. It was pretty simple with her. We really didn't have a hard time with her identity. I mean, she
Right.
never really had a hard time.
with her identity.
Yeah, with her looks and everything. It's just
She was very comfortable. in her own
everything was
skin, right?
very
Right.
easygoing.
Pretty confident.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she always was.
Right.
I mean,
So what
she's
was
a
the
beautiful little girl.
So
and
the
she never really
challenges
had a lot of
were
work.
strictly on the academic side.
Yes,
She was very hard
always
on herself.
stressed out on
Right.
academics.
Right.
It was always academics. Yeah.
And because she holds her standards super high,
Right.
Right.
which
right.
is not a bad thing, but sometimes it can give you anxiety as a young woman because
she
your
has
standards
that,
are so
yeah,
high.
right.
And that's something I suffer with all the time because my standards are always higher, higher, higher. And then when it's anxiety, reaching the next level, the next level,
Right.
the next level.
So this goes
It's a
back a
good
little bit to what you
good
were talking about
conversation.
earlier was incentives. And I think incentives are important. I think they're huge. And Lisa and I use them quite a bit for our boys, especially for the older one. The young one seems to be more self-motivating, but Alex needs a lot of incentives. And just to give a little microcosmic example, like for example, I've told Alex since he started driving, for every 6 months you don't get in a wreck, that you get another piece of camera equipment. And it's worked out for 3 years. Maybe it's pure luck. Maybe it's the incentive. Maybe it's a combination of both, that it's luck and the incentive. But, he has some stuff around here, so it seems to be working out. So going forward is, medical school is tough. Not that I've been in, but I knew a lot of medical school students when we went to St. Thomas, and that shit was a nightmare. I was comparing my economics finance to their pre-med stuff. It was like night and day. The amount of information you have to possess. So I think the incentive structure at some point has to come into play. And I think the same thing with your daughter is you're a guy that's fit and you're a guy in shape. But my experience with people like yourself, Matt, is a lot of people that are in shape or in fit are typically unhappy people, but you're an exception to the rule. You're an exception to the rule because
Why are they unhappy?
because they're always too self-absorbed about their own bodies.
Oh,
right?
okay.
And they have
Okay. Gotcha.
right? You can look across the board and you'll agree with me that 90% of those but you're the exception. You got yourself you have a fiance, you have a daughter, you seem to be happy.
gorgeous.
That's not the majority. And so going forward in the track and field, that's all six pack, that's all 0% body fat. And then you kind of get into that deep area when she's 14, 15, and 16, and she's going through that adolescence, she's going through those hormonal imbalances, and that shit's going to hit hard. Are you going to be ready for that? Or how are you going to address that when it comes to that? Because at the end of the day, what I've learned as being a father, we were taught it's 50% nature, 50% nurture until you're a parent. And then as you go along being a parent, it's no longer 50% nature and 50% nurture. I find it to be 75, 80% nature versus nurture. You have a lot less control over your kids than you think you do. It's the luck of the die that if they get it, they get it. If they don't, they don't. And maybe they'll fall somewhere in between. It's like rolling the die or having a good hand in poker or something like that, right? So when that day comes, when she's 12 or 13, and that confidence, because we all want our kids to succeed. I was at my younger son's baseball thing yesterday, and you got these big white boys in there. They're going to be varsity baseball players. They're already 5'7". They're 14 years old. They got the baseball look. They got that Roger Clemens thing going on, the Mark McGuire. My son is kind of, he's just like, he's the academic type, but Dad, I want to play baseball. I said, well, you got to commit yourself to it. Yeah, true. I said, you're going to hit the gym, like the coach said. You're going to go there. And I don't want you complaining about the coach or they're mean or they're playing time, all that kind of stuff. But we're all competitive kind of people. We all want our kids to succeed, but you also want them to not push them over the limit to where they do something harmful to themselves, right? And that's where you're like, you don't want them to be lazy bums, but you want them to be good at something. Not that my son's going to make it to the majors. Not the NBA for my older son over there. None of that. It's just that you want them to be like a part of a team sport. You want them to be contributing members, but you want them to put effort into whatever they do. Yeah. It's a skill set that you are trying to impose. You're trying to promulgate to them at an early age. That later on in life you need that. And so you come and you come into that age 3-4 years down the road. What are you going to do?
Look, man, I don't know. No, I think.
Give us an answer. Give us an answer now.
Right. No, my fiance jokes. She says, "What are you gonna do the moment that she runs into the bathroom and then says, 'Hey, Dad, my period started.'"
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my nightmare.
But you do have an idea. You ask your fiance, "What do you do?"
Right. Yeah. Right. So I did ask my fiance too, like, what did her dad do? How did that react? Like, how does that happen? And then, or in general, thankfully, I have a fiance, right? Like,
Let's say thank you to her.
Thank you, Lacey. No,
it's good you're not gay.
Oh, stop it! Stop. No. She's good and she's amazing.
Yeah, she's awesome. But I mean, in general, I think honestly, when you have both parents in your life, it makes a large difference because now you have both sides of the spectrum, right? You have the times where, in general, when I say both parents, like my daughter, her mom's in her life, right? But I mean, whenever you have a 2-parent home, and whether it's on both sides or whatnot, it makes it so much easier. Although me and my daughter's mom are separated, we communicate. And thank you. And
you don't want to mix this. It's going to be all nasty.
Thank you. Let me get some little shit.
Yeah, get every little drop.
This is making me take shots in here.
This conversation will get you to drink. That's for sure.
No, but me and my daughter's mom, us not being together, we communicate really well. I mean, yesterday
great.
We talked for I want to say maybe 20, 30 minutes straight on the phone, We've had times where we can't even speak for 30 seconds, but we're in a better place. Everything is in the best interest of my daughter.
Of course.
So, I mean, it little stuff like that. So when we come to that, first thing I'm gonna do, of course, ask Lacey, but also I'm gonna call her mom and be like, "Hey, what do I do? Or what have you been doing?" I think something like I got the small taste of that when my daughter started getting musty, right? And I had no idea. If you don't know what musty means, right? Like you start smelling it.
Yeah, no, we have kids too.
Right.
They're musty.
We know musty.
Right.
We know musty around our house.
Especially the younger one.
Stinks.
He's a scrapper. He's a scrappy kid.
Oh, he's so sweet.
I was about to say,
He'll put dirty clothes on.
He doesn't care.
Alex is a lot more couth. He's a lot more.
Oh, he has a whole skincare regime that he does.
Max doesn't get friends.
Y'all probably
find
have
used
some
underwear
weird
from the day before.
No, but I don't think it's just only asking mom. It's like you're a fiance to a woman.
Right.
You were a son to a woman. You know that women have all of these different things. And the best thing about being a young father now is you have a lot of information online.
Yep, true.
And you can always look it up and say, "Oh, I don't know how to do. I don't know how to handle this situation." You can ask a friend. You can go online. You can go to WebMD. Ask another buddy of yours that has girls. Just ask her, like, "What can I do for you, baby?" Like,
point.
what can I do?
She
Was there
may know.
something I can do?
I only
And
asked
they'll
that.
tell you, and they'll tell you.
I only asked that question because nobody ever asked me that question, or Alicia did. I can't really talk to my parents. My parents are very old school generation
Yeah,
folks.
yeah.
You don't talk about those things. You figure them out internally because they weren't predisposed to the amount of information and knowledge we have as parents to what Alicia just described, all the different resources. They didn't grow up with any of that stuff. They were just like, you got to grow a thick skin and figure it out and such.
That just means we have to adapt ourselves and adjust the way we were parenting him, right? Because we were parenting him in the way we were brought up.
Right.
It was the best.
It can't be that way.
It was the best $89 plus tax to a therapist that I had ever spent money on.
He still remembers how much he paid.
It was $96 and some change. I remember that shit because I'm against the whole therapy thing. I grew up with tough parents.
I know, but you're not against it anymore.
Figuring it out. But that $89, that therapist said, you guys lived a cookie cutter lifestyle. You guys went to college, you got married, you had kids, you did what everybody was supposed to do.